Have you ever wanted to hunt monsters like General Grievous?
They are your tools to travel with great speed.
Well, now you can, and it's awesome. Hello, my fellow hunters of kemono. It's time for some brand new delectable Wild Hearts goodness, and my goodness, it's some serious goodness. We have a little bit of a Ragetail doing a little bit of a Ragetail chase, and nothing too crazy or new happening here, but we then do get some shots of what I presume is going to be a town, or perhaps the main town, the hub that we'll be spending our time with, that we almost got to see when we were very fortunate enough to have a little go at the game earlier this year. We also find out that the Karakuri used to work for everyone, just a normal way of life, but they've long since been lost because no one can figure the bloody things out. Except for us. Now the Hunter, and this is all about just how creative you can get with it, and apparently you can get ridiculously creative with it. So the first new one we see is this kind of stretchy Karakuri string wall, which looks very similar to the solid wall that blocks King Tusk, so I do wonder functionally what's unique about it. It seems to repel the Ragetail and do a very good job at that. Then he gets finished off by a series of Karakuri, the jump, the fire, and of course finally the hammer that we have seen, but nevertheless very satisfying to smack a rat. Following that then, we get little air jet Karakuri, which lets us launch up and go into the glider Karakuri that we have seen before, but that is very, very cool, as is this sort of like shipwrecky coast type area that I really want to explore too. Then we get a turf war, or at least two Karakuri fighting, which is really cool to see, and it looks like it's between the fiery rocky lava gorilla, which we have seen hints of, but then also this sort of green, I initially wanted to say snake, but when it does get thrown over, you can see it does have a set of legs and, you know, the traditional body that they would be attached to, a sort of jade horn looking thing, and it seems like it's mostly tail, like it's got a massive tail. That's what it's been grabbed and thrown by, and what it's kind of almost propping itself up on while facing him. In any case, this seems like a bit of a mismatch both in power and size, which is probably why it goes the way that it does. Then we get to see ourselves some traps being laid down. This is very, very neat, because you can have preset they will activate when conditions are met, like we're used to with pitfalls and shock traps, but in this case, when our flamey gorilla boy triggers it, it pops up a massive spike that then anchors it to the spot with wire. That is really, really neat, and then the mine appears and gets a good bit of detonation-y damage in from our bow user. That is really, really swish. But this is by far my favorite part. We could actually get our little wheel vehicle on and blitz through the land on it. That is such a fun method of transportation, and I love it. That is going to make things so much easier, because there was just a lot of general running around to places. It did feel like it took a while to cross the map, at least the one we got to play, so this would have solved that problem, and in a very, very fun way. We also, what seems to be, have like an auto fish gatherer Karakuri going along the river, getting you resources to cook, which is nice to see. Maybe we could set up like Karakuri farm-esque areas, which I am a big, big fan of. We also get another little look at our training bear, which apparently we can change or upgrade. The radar tower that we have seen that pings the location on the map of the Karakuri, and then a brand new kemono, a crystal porcupine inspired little number, and yeah, I do really like him. I like how actually sort of plainly realistically mammally he is for the most part, and then just this cluster of prismatic crystals sprouting out of him. It's a really nice little combination, and he really does look ferocious. He's immediately engaged with a new Karakuri, lets you spring off it, tie a Karakuri string to it, and then do a slide spin round, almost like fanning maneuver on the light bowgun, and then activate it a further time to zip towards the monster, and and start beating it down, which is just really, really good. Not that it goes very well for our brave hunter here, so he calls in just a little bit of backup.
Hi, did you miss me?
I did, mouth portal statue thing. Now spew out some hunters. And here they are as we get a little look at 2 new weapons. Hunter on the right, we are having a cannon Karakuri shot firing because the green blob, that is Karakuri energy. So basically a Karakuri bowgun is the nice way of putting it, and that's very, very cool. Big blobs of explosions, and I imagine it's got a fair few tricks up its sleeve too. We also, if we have a look on his left, that's a hammer. You can see the handle, you can see the big barrel on the back. That is a hammer, big bashy bonk looking weapon. So that's very, very exciting too. Sadly, we don't see that one in action, but what we do see is a lot of good action from this porcupine fellow, and I'm really, really enjoying him, as I am this final new Karakuri, which is a gigantic single Karakuri blast of energy that absolutely destroys it. And by that I mean makes it incredibly angry, so it goes full anger mode. But we probably don't need to worry too much about that, right? And it's actually growing and sprouting crystals from the ground. All in all then, that is a very satisfying little extra peek into Wild Hearts, seeing just this taste of the sheer variety of Karakuri, both in combat and transport, and then in utility outside of either. That's really, really heartening, and something I'm very much looking forward to delving more into. Every new Karakuri we're seeing looks fascinating. I like the small green one with the huge tail. That feels like a more grounded, personal enemy over like the giantness of King Tusk. It's good to see that kind of size variety keep going. Crystal Porcupine is a really nice take on a monster too, and well, firing out crystal shards, growing them, it's not like it's stuff we haven't seen elsewhere, but it does seem to be getting done in a really nice way that certainly does work. And since I already know that the actual combat itself does feel honestly fairly damn good, yeah, this just gets me even more excited. So, all that being said, lovely stuff. Let me know what you guys think, and for now, well, like if you enjoyed this, subscribe and hit the bell for more. Consider supporting the channel on the future of Patreon down below. That seems like I got that the wrong way around. And until we meet again, goodbye.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.